when we
Mhm.
look at and I hope and believe that this ultimately will end up in being a bubble, maybe a bubble in gold, which would be a great reason for a bubble in the mining stocks, or maybe just a normal run of the mill bubble in the mining stocks. But you do notice that with every single bubble, and that is just like, let's call it a bubble law. You can't have this and still call it a bubble. The end of the bubble is almost parabolic compared to the beginning. And so, unless we believe that what happened last year was really, the whole cycle, the whole up cycle, that everything is over, which I don't think any of us here believe, then we're in for a real treat. Because if you take the chart of anything at all, you will see that time wise the growth just goes pretty exponential. And so, yeah, I think that the people who are getting in now, people who really don't have much invested in this sector, and let me make this clear, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not a solicitation to buy or sell stocks. But I think it is my hunch that people who get in now are going to have so much more to gain, because really now we're going to have people actually drilling, people actually hopefully finding stuff. There's real money in this industry now. It's sentiment from, insiders and the financiers who really make this world go around has shifted. And so, yeah, I mean, I think the gains that we've talked about last year are going to be completely eclipsed by the end of
I
this cycle.
I I think you're totally right, Fabi, because if you actually step back and you look at it from a macro chart with gold and silver and a lot of these, even the base metals, it's just a blip on the radar. I mean, especially like
Yes.
something like silver. You see silver, hovering around $17, and you peer back and you look at the chart and you're
It's
like, it
dead.
was, it's dead. It doesn't even register on the radar. You have to zoom in to kind of see where we are. It's just a little tiny blip, right? The run up we had last year. So when this thing really, I mean, we don't even need that whole blow off top, because we just need this thing to get some legs underneath it. And I mean, I can't even fathom really where these stocks could potentially go because I mean, I never experienced the bull market before in mining stocks. I'm still waiting for that, because I don't really think last year was it either. I think it was just a sneak preview into what could happen. But like, I mean, if gold gets to like 1,500 and silver gets to like $25, I mean, I can't even fathom where these stocks could be trading at. If all else being equal, I mean, if you have the price of oil and everything escalating as well, and then the all-in costs go up, then that kind of then it doesn't really have the same effect. But I'm saying if gold actually rises in real terms, then it's just I mean, maybe it would be like Ethereum and Bitcoin right now. I mean, it could be that type of mania there, and I think that's what we're all kind of hoping for and kind of waiting for, because it's just it seems apparent that we're so much closer to the bottom than the top. And one thing I think is really exciting, and you guys might want to chime in here, is with the lack of exploration in recent years. Last year we saw a lot of merger and acquisitions, but this year there's been some. I think Eldorado just bought out Integra. I think that was the most noteworthy one. But besides that, there haven't been too many of them. Well, I guess Mariana and Sandstorm, I guess that was the other one. But like that there's got to be a lot of appeal there, and that's got to go into your strategy as well when you're picking out these companies. Is what could possibly be the next big takeout candidate, right?
Yeah. I was going to just kind of add some context with recent history again, because I think what Jay just mentioned, like last year with those acquisitions, I mean, some of the big ones, or ones where people really did quite well, were True Gold in Burkina Faso and Kaminak in the Yukon. And you still see activity in those areas. I've noticed, I mean, Canada has actually been much more active than I expected, because not only the Yukon, but you also have Quebec, and you even have like Nunavut, like different areas. But last year, I felt a little bit out of place, because I wasn't as much into that M&A in January 2016. I was holding a lot of the explorers, and it took longer for them to move forward, and I had almost no silver, but I was able to do well, in that period. But it was a little of a struggle not holding the right stuff. But later in the year, and this is just to kind of go back to some of our previous conversations, I'm pretty sure we talked about November, December 2016, the end of last year, as kind of another bottom. I've actually done quite well coming out of that. You don't hear that many people talking about the end of, or the beginning of this year as much as the beginning of the previous year, but there was definitely money to be made. And I haven't made a huge amount of money, but what I find interesting is that instead of having this big run, because last year it was kind of January all the way into July, August, it was just like this big run. We've had this mini run, and it kind of topped out for a lot of companies around PDAC. Now there have been a few companies that have done well. I feel like we are in a bit of like a no man's land. It doesn't feel as pessimistic as the end of 2015, end of 2016. But I still think it's a good buying opportunity. So there's two main points I wanted to make. One, there's different. You can make money in a lot of different ways, like whether it's the explorers, the producers. I mean, there's still that general opportunity, and sometimes one group does better than other groups. I happen to hold some of the stuff that did quite well, in January or February. I didn't have like a huge amount, but like Orion, that was the one in Finland. That was just kind of lucky to like be in that an instant 3 or 4 bagger. So that's a good example for looking at these smaller companies. But a bigger point, and I think this goes to what Fabi's saying, like, this is the time to buy. I do think it's really interesting to go back to that 99, 2002 period where people were really not focused on mining at all. I think that was even more of a bearish market. But there's so many parallels to the tech, people being obsessed with tech even as it was going down. But even in that 3-year period, we didn't even hit the real bull run in mining yet. And it was never even a gold silver run. It was actually more uranium and iron ore and all this other stuff. And I look back and I think it's fascinating. A lot of newsletters, they didn't even start up or didn't even start to go crazy until like 2004. So there was like years and years. And like uranium's a great example because all the smart guys were really, really early. But you didn't have that super boom until 2004 to 2007. And so it will be interesting to see how many more good years we have left. And I guess, I'm not a financial advisor either, but I pound the table. 2007 is still a great time to get interested in this industry. Like right now is still a great time. And I just, I don't know.
Did you say 2007, 2017? Now I'm confused.
2007 is a great time to buy real estate.
Sorry, 2017. Let's be clear about that. Yeah, 2007. Oh man, that was like across the board. That was danger zone unless you were part of The Big Short or something like that. But 2017 is still a great year, and maybe 2018. But we're not sure. Like this thing, we could get to that 2004 type moment a lot faster because so like the point is, we're in different eras. I just think it's interesting to make those parallels, but this is still a good time. So if someone's listening to this this little chat in 2018 or 2019, you might have missed the boat. Or maybe it is that last good year, but it's not going to last forever. So that's just something to really keep in mind. It's still a great time to get interested, but it could change very quickly.